welcome or welcome back to my channel, What Linda Makes. My name is Linda and today I have another podcast episode for you today. This is the first one of the new year where I am talking about everything that I've made in the month of December. As you can probably hear, I've gotten a little bit sick over the last week. That's why my video is out a little late. I was supposed to record last week, but I don't believe that you would want to listen to that video since I was so sick. I had a horrible voice, so I was very tired, and that wouldn't work. But today I'm feeling much better and still sounds a little iffy, but I'm fine, and I can definitely record a video for you today, but that does also mean that I have an extra little time of knitting. Normally my knitting podcast, I talk about what I've knit in a month, so the month of December, but now we are halfway of January already, so I've knit a little bit more for this episode. So yeah, that is hopefully a good thing. There's more to show you, and I'm really excited to talk about what I've been working on in the last month, since it was quite a productive month. I had a little bit of time off around the holidays, and yeah, it was snowing outside, so it was just lovely weather to sit down and knit and stare at the beautiful snow. And that's what I did in the last few weeks. Right now the snow is all gone, but we had an entire week of a lot of snow, and that doesn't happen a lot anymore in the Netherlands, so yeah, we really enjoyed that time. So, but that's a side note. Anyway, yeah, let's get into the video. So let's start off this video with what I'm wearing, and also the project that I've been working on the most for this last month, since it is in this month, has been a new cast on and work in progress, all the way through a finished object in just 1 month. Which is something I'm really proud of, and just shows how much I enjoyed this specific project. It is the Eyelet striped sweater by Ronja. I cannot pronounce the name, but it will be on the screen. She's a designer that I've been eyeing her patterns for such a long time. I follow her on Instagram, and I saw her call for a test knit in June or July, which I really wanted to join, since ever first I saw this sweater, I was hooked into it, and it was it kept staying in the back of my mind that this is a sweater that I really wanted to make. So unfortunately the test knit was in the period where I moved and worked on my house, so it didn't feel fair to her or to myself to hold a knitting deadline at the same time. So that was unfortunate, because I think I would have enjoyed the test knit group. But since then the design just stuck in my head for quite some time, and what drew me to it is that it is a design with colorwork, which I hadn't done before in a sweater. And usually I love these designs, Eyelet. This type of sweater is just, I'm drawn to it a lot. Let's just keep it at that. And usually you see them more often in round yoke sweaters. And this one is a raglan design. And I think that is a shape that looks better on my body than the round yoke. I have quite broad shoulders and quite straight shoulders, so with a round neck, how do you say it? Round neck collarwork design, where you increase evenly across the yoke. Usually it gets, with my body shape and my shoulders, I feel like it gets like these weird folds around here. It's really hard to find the right shape that works for my body. Let's just, so I avoid round yoke sweaters, but raglan sweaters I think work good for me. So that's why I was like, oh yes, finally design like this in a raglan design. So then came the question of what yarn am I going to use for it, and also something that was in the back of my mind for quite some time is that I wanted to try out the yarns by Knitting for Olive. They're merino or heavy merino. Since I've heard that they are really, they hold up really nicely, even without holding mohair with it, that it's not so prone to pilling and stuff. So that's something, just music to my ears. I like that. So I wanted to try that out, and in December they usually have a discount around the holidays. So I thought that's just the perfect moment to cast on to purchase this yarn and try it out on this design. Since the gauge was matching according to their website. So I felt like it was gonna work. So for some reason I had in my head that the Knitting for Olive merino is like a fingering weight and their heavy merino is a DK weight, since that also happens with sandloose garn, and somehow that was my thought. But actually it's listed as a worsted weight, the heavy merino. But looking at the gauge on their website, I felt like I could make it work. So I tried it anyway. I've been looking at the right color match for quite some time. I just copied their photos of the different color samples and put them together in any word paint, it doesn't matter. Just put photos together and see if the colors complement each other. So that's what I did, and that's how I decided on the colors and ordered them. The colors that I have in the sweater are the main color is trench coat. Then we've got dark ochre for the yellow, and for the Bordeaux red for the purpley. So with these three colors. And what I also loved about this pattern, that sometimes it felt like it had more than only three colors. It looks somehow, the colors together look very complex without them being so. When they arrived and when I switched them up, I soon realized that the trench coat color is actually washing me out a little bit. So that might not have been the best decision for a sweater, but I think I am definitely getting away with it. The all-over sweater on its own is just beautiful in my opinion. It's just sad that it washes me out a little bit, but I don't mind it that much since the color work takes away from it a little bit. So I think I would just have to get a little used to it and to the color. But I'm overall really excited with this project. It just was so much fun to make. So you start off with casting on the collar. You have some short row shaping and some increases around these raglan points. The color work is very memorable, since you want to get to the next color work section, and you sometimes have these breaks in between of just straight knitting. Also in the color work itself there are rows where you just have one color and you go. So with that it's just it has a really nice flow to it. Sometimes where you have to pay more attention, and sometimes it's just mindless. So I think that also helped with me just flying through this project. So like I said, it is a raglan design with a little bit of shorter shaping. You can see the back is a little bit taller than the front. The raglan increases are written out pretty clearly throughout the pattern. The yoke depth is pretty low, which I like the look and feel of. I think it's really nice. What it does do though is when you stand up or you lift your arms, the entire sweater raises up a little bit. So that's something to keep in mind of. I expect that from the pattern photos, so nothing disappointing or anything. I think the neckline, I would have expected it to lay flat a little bit more. Maybe that's just because it's just of the blocking mat and it just has to relax and fit around my body a little bit better. Sleeve length is awesome. This is really, really nice. At first I knit the entire sweater, knit the ribbing and bound off. Just right after the last colorwork section I started the ribbing. When I finished I realized I didn't like that look. It's also not in the pattern, I don't know why I did that, but so after finishing it I thought I wanted to go back and just add a row or 5 to the bottom of it. I didn't want to take out the entire ribbing and the I-cord or the, what you call it, Italian bind off at the bottom. So what I did is I grafted a little bit more. Is that how you call it? I picked up all the right legs of the V on the same row, then left one row of knitting just clean, and then on the third row do the same, picking up every right leg of the V. So you have all the stitches picked up and on a cord for one row, then one row where you have nothing, and another row where there is a cord through all your stitches. And after that you can cut open one stitch of the middle row and unpick the entire thing to separate the piece in two. You have your stitches on the needle and you can knit a little bit more. So I knit a couple of rows, and after that I've crafted it together with a Kitchener stitch to connect the ribbing to the body again. That was the first time I have done that on a sweater. I have used that technique on a sock before, so that was something new and wanted to try. Of course I could have just taken out the entire ribbing and start from there, and I don't know what is easier, the crafting and the Kitchener stitching all the stitches back together takes quite a long time. I hadn't accounted for that before, but you have to work you have 2 stitches. How do I explain this? When you do the Italian bind off on the end of your sweater, you have maybe 140 stitches that you have to work that way, and that can already feel like a long time. Just know that if you're grafting it together you have double the amount of stitches, so 280 stitches where you have to work with your needle through that to do the Italian bind off. I hope this sounds somewhat logical, but that's something I didn't realize beforehand. So it took quite a long time to work that way, but still maybe a little bit quicker than just ripping out the entire ribbing, knitting for a few rows, and then re-knitting the ribbing again, where you also have to do the Kitchener stitch bind off, the Italian bind off. So that's something to note, I would say. I would use that technique again, since it's just lovely to lengthen or shorten a sweater or a piece whenever you need to, because it can be such a shame that you have a finished piece and just the length is the thing that keeps you from wearing it. So I love to have this experience in my knitting skills. I'm glad I've learned that technique, and right now I also love the decision to lengthen the sweater on that, since this looks way better than it did before. I need a little bit more time wearing it to see if I love wearing the feel of the sweater long term, and to see if it holds up like I've heard. But so far it feels really soft. While working with the Knitting for Olive, it felt a little bit papery, a little bit dry. It's definitely a unique type of yarn, but I like working with it, and blocking it just really softens it up a lot. So I am really confident that this is a piece that I will love for a very long time. So yeah, my Eyelet striped sweater by Ronja. Nog wat. I've got 2 more finished objects for you today. Let's start off with the sailor slippers. In the last podcast episode, I've made a pair for my sister-in-law in a nice soft pink and Bordeaux colorway, which she's really loving, and I've shown in the last podcast episode that I was making this colorway for myself. So far I'm wearing them a lot. I feel like this is a really effective design. I know why it's, I totally get why it's so popular, since it's fun to make, it's very unique pattern, and it's a piece that just can get a lot of use out of it, since every time I come home from work or whatever, this is just the first thing I want to put on. Just take off my shoes and put my feet in these nice warm slippers. So this is definitely a piece that will get a lot of wear out of. What I also like about it is that if I've been wearing it for some time, I can throw it in a washing machine, since it is already felted. I've knit them up in Drops Snow in two different colorways for foot, and the sole is dark green. I hope it's not too dirty from all the wear. Yeah. My third finished object of the month are these gloves. We've had really lovely weather these last months. Like I told, we had a lot of snow, and I really felt use for some really nice gloves. And this yarn I have left over from my sweater, my tendril sweater that I've shown in the last episode. I had quite some yarn left over, so I just casted on these. You didn't use a pattern for them, I just free-handed them. I'll put them on for you. So I used DP ends. I casted on 40 stitches. Okay, let's refer back a little bit. So the yarn that I have left over was Isike Jensen yarn and Merino by Sandnes Garn. So I casted on 40 stitches for the cuff on 3mm needles, folded the cuff double and connected them together. Afterwards I switched to 3.5mm needles. I made a thumb gusset by increasing, tried them on to see at which point I should stop doing that, where I could start for the thumb. I split my stitches, put the thumb on hold and continue working the palm of the hand to the right height where I should start the fingers. When I reached that, I divided all the stitches over four fingers and casted on stitches in between them, and started working on each finger till I had the right length. Just by trying them on in between, I got to these pair of gloves. So no pattern, just freestyling it. I really like the blue color. I have a nice vibrant coat to wear in the winter, which I felt like these blue gloves would really suit that. So that was just really fun to have a vision and yarn on hand and just start it, and didn't put much thought into it, and it just worked out pretty nicely. So felt really, really good to have done that. So since then I've used them a lot. They're really nice and warm, really nice and soft. Definitely the 3.5mm needles on this DK plus mohair was a good choice. Some gloves I feel like they're too airy and still can be a little bit cold, but for this it just works out so nicely, since there aren't any holes or gaps into the fabric where any air or cold or snow can get through. My self-drafted mittens, gloves. I still got yarn left over, so maybe I'll figure out something else with that yarn. So that was all my finished objects for this month. Let me get straight into the works in progress. Right here I have another design that I'm kinda freehanding, and it is Bonnet. This is the top of the bonnet, and I'm working my way down. This is a request by my sister-in-law. I mentioned in the last podcast episode that I've made her these sailor slippers, as I'm wearing myself. I've made also a pair for her in this colorway in the drops snow, and gifted them for like the holidays, and she's really enjoying them. Since then she asked me if I could make something for her, since on Pinterest she was eyeing a lot of bonnets, these stripy bonnets. She sent me inspo photos of those bonnets, and she said that she couldn't find the right store-bought item, and asked me, is this something that you can make as well, since I can't for the life of me find a good product for it online right now. So that was a challenge that sounds like fun to me. So I sat down with her, and I asked her all the things that she wanted, since she sent me quite some inspiration photos. So do you want stripes? Do you want it all to be in one color? What type of tie do you want at the front? How long would you like that? All of that. We came up with a design for her, and she told me that she liked the colorway that I've used for her sailor slippers, so that would maybe be a good choice for a bonnet as well. I ordered drops Alaska and just started swatching, and after that I started casting on and freehanding it. So what I did is I cast it on for the top of the bonnet first, knit it to a certain length, and when I hit that length I kept my stitches live, break the yarn and pick up stitches along the side, add the stitches that I have kept live, and then picked up the stitches around the other side of the top, and the cast on side is at the front of the bonnet. With that I've been working my way down, striping at the same rate, And right now I'm at this point, which is like halfway. I think it's halfway. And after that I plan on finishing on a pink stripe and double knitting for the front edge of the bonnet. After that I want double knitting for the ties all the way around, with long enough for her to put into a bow. So that's my plan for this bonnet. And I hope that it is working, and otherwise I'll start over. I am enjoying free handing and free trying things out and designing my own thing. I haven't looked if there are any good patterns for this type of bonnet online. I feel like I'm really enjoying that right now. Just freestyling some knitting accessories by casting them on. I haven't done too much calculations. Just feels what is right. Just improvising. That's the word. Improvising the knitting. And so far it's working out fine. And if I need to frog it, I'll frog it. And yeah. So that is the bonnet that I'm making for my sister-in-law. Something else that I've been working on is the sweater for my boyfriend. Last time I told you that the front of it, this is his own design that I've worked out a stitch fiddle. Yeah. Right now I'm working on the back panel. Last time I showed you I was on the ribbing. Just started the back panel. And I've been working on it a little bit just before I got my yarn for this sweater and I got distracted. My attention switched to this sweater. I was so locked in that I didn't revisit that pattern, but some progress. Also made a little bit of progress on my Kip Sweater by Rebecca Clow, which I'm knitting up in Iskeri Jensen. I have shown this quite some time on this podcast and it's going pretty slowly. I must say that I find it difficult to find the motivation to work on it. I really have to force myself a little bit to knit on it. Since I had to re-knit the sleeves a couple of times, and I felt that that drained my motivation for this project. But I'm still really in love with the design and the overall sweater. So I am sure that I will keep coming back to it. It's just not it's not the thing that gives me most joy right now. So sometimes it gets to the back burner. But last month I've knitted a significant amount on the sleeve, so I thought I'd show you. It's really working out this time for the sleeve, so that I'm happy with that. Yeah. The Kip Sweater by Rebecca Clow. Not much progress, but enough to show you something. And then my last work in progress is a new cast on. And it's a gift knit. I am working on a Dagmar zipper sweater men, which I'm working for my dad. He is requesting a sweater for a very long time, and this year he will turn 60. So I wanted to give him something nice, and I asked him what kind of color he wanted. I had shown him this pattern before and he got really excited about that. So I am sure that he will be loving this sweater when it's finished. And this is my very first all over cable sweater that I'm working on. So so far I feel very proud that I'm doing this and it is working out. It's the Dagmar zipper sweater men by Petiteknit. Which you cast on at the back of the work. So this is the back panel first, and afterwards you pick up stitches for the front and knit it down, and it's a drop shoulder style sweater, and later you install a zipper for the neck. So I think it's going to be a very practical sweater for for my dad, and yeah, it feels really nice to be working on this for him. I've picked this yarn, Ronja Vivo, in dark green colorway. Since I've seen another YouTuber working on this exact same sweater with this yarn. Ronja is also a yarn brand that I haven't been working with before. It feels really soft. It's a 2-ply yarn, and I think it's a good choice for this project. Right now I am a little bit over halfway on the back panel, but I'm unsure if I hit the right gauge. I made a gauge swatch and I washed it, but I felt like it didn't give an accurate feel or accurate information on how the overall sweater is gonna work. Since a little small swatch in a lot of cables, it's really hard to tell if you really hit the right gauge, I felt like. So right now I'm in doubt that I hit the right gauge. I'm not sure. I just got really excited and casted it on. So I swatched for this part, and after blocking it and measuring it, I realized that I didn't hit a gauge on that one, but it also felt really weird to go up that many needle sizes. I thought like maybe it's not hitting gauge because when the sweater is in its full form and you have the wear of it, it will stretch out more and it will bloom with wear. I felt like the gauge swatch wasn't giving me all the information that I need to decide if it's gonna work. So I felt like, yeah, I could swatch again. I could swatch for this bit as well. And maybe that will give me the right amount of information. But I also felt like, yeah, that's not giving me what I need to decide what the right needle size is. Because I felt like it depends on how this works together with this. And if it stretches out as a whole piece. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm making sense right now, but yeah. I felt like another gauge swatch wasn't giving me the information that I needed. So I just started it, and right now I'm at this point, and I think I'm gonna block it right now, since if at this point I figure out that I need another needle size and rip it all back and start over, it is okay. It's better than finishing the entire piece and then realizing that it's not working. So I will be doing that, I think. I feel like right now I'm having enough fabric to really tell if it's working or not. So I'll block it, and after that assess if I can continue with this needle size or I have to start over. So that's it on my Dagmar zipper sweater. I'm really enjoying it so far. I did not realize that knitting cables was so much fun. I always thought it was really, really tedious and a lot of work, and you get really annoyed by it, by all the fiddly things, but it's not that way at all, actually. It's just engaging. You have these different sections of like moss stitch, which is fun, and then you get to a small cable, the bigger cable section, so you always have to switch up what you're doing, but at the same time it's not all that difficult. I don't have to watch the charts all the time. I have it memorized already, and that's due to good design, I think. It's really thought out to be simple and memorable. So it looks complicated, but I actually am pleasantly surprised by how the project is going so far and how much I'm enjoying it. So next time I will update you again if I'm on the right track with my needle size or I have to start over. So that will be something for the next video. If that's something you are interested in tracking along, you can subscribe down below and you will see when my next video is live. That is all my knitting that I have for this month. I really enjoyed sitting down with you again and showing you all that I've been working on. I hope you enjoyed watching it all, and I hope you had some lovely knitting time in for yourself. Again, I'm sorry for my little rusty voice at the moment. I hope to be fully recovered next time, and I hope to see you then. Bye!